Ladies and gentlemen, we're back for one more cozy conversation all the way from Muddy Shoes, Mississippi. Welcome, Tanja Johnson!
Welcome to the Cozy Couch, where we're about to talk about all things Muddy Shoes, Mississippi. And we are back. We're back with our guest therapist, LaJune Johnson. Welcome back, LaJune.
Glad to be here.
And we are talking about episode 3.
Yes, episode 3.
It was a lot going on here. What did you think?
Yes, it was very gut-wrenching to watch. A lot of raw emotions, various emotions felt during that scene. Definitely sadness was a leading one. Anger, I even saw some bitterness with that. I think this scene is relatable because a lot of us may not be dealing with divorce or dealing with substance use, but I want to be very intentional when I say that everyday people like you and I are navigating battles that other people don't see.
Yes.
And I want to run it back one more time. Everyday people are navigating battles that other people don't see. So our neighbors, our co-workers, your children's science teacher, your church members may be navigating difficult battles that we don't see. And I think that when I watched this scene, that is what came to my mind. And so we really have to be sensitive with how we handle people in our day-to-day life, because we don't know what is going on behind closed doors.
Exactly. I was about to say that. A true example about what's going on behind closed doors that people may not be able to see. But we have a chance to look behind those doors and we see some things that can be really messy, or what we like to call muddy issues. And how those things are not just affecting you or that one person, but how it is affecting everyone in the household. And I think that's we get to see the effect. But normally, if, like myself, I can relate to this mother. I've been in this place before, putting on all of the masks, wearing all of the masks for everyone else. And then when I got home, it was a different thing. And I really thought that I was the only one that was probably seeing it, but didn't realize until later on how it was affecting my child. So Leah is going through this, and her life has changed. And it's different. But it is also hurting the other people around her, like her children. Let's talk about that a little bit.
Absolutely. I mean, gosh, in this scene, we see dysfunctional family dynamics. We see substance use. We see grief and loss. Mom is navigating a divorce. And so, when I counsel folks who are navigating a divorce, they process a divorce similar to a person who's processing a death. Because you are dealing with a lot of loss. We grieve what was. We grieve what could have been. We grieve a failure. Sometimes we perceive a divorce as if, a perceived failure within ourselves. And so a lot of times folks, when they're navigating a divorce, it can be very difficult for the entire family, the person going through the divorce because they're grieving, and then also the children who are also, entangled with the aftermath of the divorce because they see two people that they love very dearly separating.
Yes.
And the separation can be very, very difficult to process. And you bring up a good point. You know, lives are now forever changed
Yes.
because of the divorce.
Yes.
But, you know, that doesn't mean they have to change for, you know, all the bad reasons. I mean, there definitely are ways, you know, life must go on. And life can be good after a divorce as well, but it's definitely an adjustment period as you're kind of navigating it.
And here's again where I want to plug in about counseling. Like you said, this is an unexpected change for many, right? And it's clear that they're trying to figure out what to do.
Yep.
And that Leah is coping in all of the wrong ways.
Unfortunately.
And her daughter is seeing it, and it's almost like, Mama, come on, Mama, you're better than this. You gotta do. You're missing this, you know. And I like how you said that it's kind of like a pull for everyone, because you have the daughter that's pulled toward the dad, the daughter that's pulled toward the mom. Mom is saying things about dad too.
Sure.
That we hear behind closed doors. One of the biggest things that I really want us to talk about, Lejeune, is something that the mothers tells the daughter. Did you pick up on when she says, what goes on in this house stays in this house?
Yeah, I heard that.
And what is going on in the house at that very moment is very traumatizing.
Oh, yes.
And toxic situations.
Yes.
And it is dangerous. And I know that this is something that we've said in our households for years. I'm guilty myself of saying it to my own child. But when it is something that's dangerous like this, you want to talk to somebody.
Absolutely.
And that's why counseling is so important, because everything has changed, and just keeping all of this bottled up and sweeping it all under the rug is not healthy. Let's talk about that a little bit.
Right. It's absolutely not healthy. And when we don't have those healthy outlets to be able to talk about things that we find to be emotionally upsetting, then we start to self-medicate, right? And that's what Mom is doing with the alcohol. She's self-medicating because she's using this mantra of, you know, I can't talk to anybody about what's going on with me. You talked about wearing a mask, and a part of wearing that mask means, you know, I have to keep this it's really a fake appearance to the world. And unfortunately, that is really fueling her addiction, because she has created an environment where no one has anywhere to turn. No one has anyone to talk to. And so, you know, Mom has resorted to self-medicating. And so daughters seeing this and not having anyone to talk to, and we see that final scene where she kind of is looking at the bottle like, you know, is this the answer? Is this where I turn? Is this how I figure things out for myself? But we really have to break those kind of toxic generational themes that we have had, you know, established in our families. We talked about earlier how, you know, our parents did the best they could with what they had. But now, you know, we're in a new era. We're millennial parents. And, you know, you don't have to, that scenario doesn't have to be the scenario for your household. You can create new patterns. You can create new family dynamics. And so that's especially what we want to happen here, because, you know, what goes on in this house stays in this house is not exactly a healthy way to navigate a lot of difficult things like divorce, like substance abuse, like a family, you know, going there, not separating, but this is a new normal for them now. And so they have to figure this out. And sometimes you need an outside perspective, and that's why therapy is so great.
Can we say the family dynamics changed?
Yeah, it has.
Okay, I wanted to make sure I was using the right words.
Perfect.
So the family dynamics change, and sometimes we need someone on the outside to help us navigate the change. And there is a cycle that's being created, and we see that cycle, and that's what you allude to, that even though we're not intentionally teaching that this is the way to cope, that this is the way you do things, that house is your first classroom.
Oh, yes.
That house is the place where you're learning everything.
Absolutely.
And to this day, there are some things that I do that I know is just like my mom.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes you look back at yourself, you're like, what did I just say that? It sounds just like my mama, right?
Yeah.
Because you learned it,
Yep.
even though it wasn't something that you got lectured on or
Yes.
lectured about, but you learned because that was your first classroom.
Mm-hmm.
And this princess is learning how to cope.
Yep. Unfortunate in the wrong ways, because
Yeah.
there are good ways to cope, right?
Right.
We know that there are healthy ways to cope with difficult situations, but unfortunately, she's learning the negative ways of navigating difficult situations, of dealing with challenging circumstances. Because let's give mom some grace here. What she's navigating is extremely difficult.
Yes.
She's going through a divorce. She's seemingly looks like her ex-partner is living his best life, and she over here, struggling. And that can be very difficult to process. And then she's self-medicating.
And
so
she wants her family back.
She does.
She wants her family back.
She
'Cause
does.
We notice that she turns it off, turns it on, turns it off, turns it on, like many of us do.
Yep.
And it's hard. It's hard because she wanted Ralph, and Ralph, he moved over. Like, wait a minute, we not there anymore, but she
Right.
still is.
Yep. She still is.
So let's talk about if this was someone that you were counseling, if they were on your couch or on your screen, because now we can do all of the virtual things.
Yeah.
So let's talk about if Aaliyah, Princess, and Ralph were your clients. What is some advice that you would give Leah? What is some advice that you would give Ralph right now? What is some advice that you would give even Princess?
Yes. So I think the first thing that we have to establish, we talked about this a little earlier, is establishing healthy boundaries.
Yes.
Right. We talked about mom is still living in the past, still wanting her family to be a unit. But from what Ralph has said, it's very clear that that's not going to happen. And so mom has to have some individual therapy on her own to process that and deal with that. Also deal with the substance abuse. She has to develop her own kind of self-care strategies to pour back into herself, reestablish herself. But the family unit together also needs to come together and have therapy sessions as well.
That would be good.
Yeah, definitely. Everybody needs to lay it out on the table and express what they feel and create a space where everyone can feel heard and everyone feels like, okay, we can get through this. So I think definitely starting off with individual therapy for mom. I think even daughter could use some individual therapy to kind of process the things that she's seen, to process the things, that dynamics that she's established or experienced with her parents. But the family unit definitely needs to get together as one and start really communicating and talking about what life is going to be looking like as we move forward, because it's going to look different.
And even if all parties are not on board, the main thing is to start with you.
Oh my gosh, yes, because we can control us.
Yes.
We can't control nobody else, but we can control us, right? So if daddy don't want to show up there, that's cool. I'm gonna still work on me.
Exactly.
Daughter, as mom, you don't want to force her into therapy, but you want to encourage that.
Sure.
And maybe if she sees you going to therapy, she's like, okay, dang, mom is getting herself together and she's
Exactly.
looking great, and so I want that for me too. So I want to go to therapy. So it's all about modeling behaviors for our children is more impactful than telling our children what to do.
Sure.
You could tell your kids what to do, but if they see you not practicing what you're like, why would I do it? I mean, you don't do that. So that's why modeling things for our children is much more impactful than telling them to do stuff. So if mom starts modeling these behaviors, then I think that would resonate with her daughter so much more. So yeah, I think that's a good starting point.
Yes.
And everything will kind of fall together as we go. But yeah.
What again, LaJune? Oh, this was so good and so awesome.
That was a hard one.
I know it was.
Yeah, but we got through it though.
I know, yeah. Thank you so much, and we'll see you again. We'll be back.
Yay.
So yeah, that was pretty. This is always a little difficult for me to talk about, but I want to tell you something. The mother that you have seen on this episode, I can relate. And I understand the pain and the hurt that can be attached to divorce. The pain of living a life behind closed doors that no one knows about. But I want you to know, and I want to encourage you to have a conversation with God. And not just a conversation. I want you to develop a relationship with the Lord. Not a relationship with church. Not a relationship with others or people with titles. I want you to develop a relationship with the Lord, because He's the only one that can deal with that kind of hurt. And if you can relate to Leah, coping unhealthy, coping in ways that's affecting everyone else in your household, I want to urge you to change. You say, okay, Tanja, I don't want this to be affecting. I knew that it was affecting me, but I didn't know it was affecting other people around me. I want to talk to you just about you. Changing everything else around you starts with you first. And I want you to know that I serve a God that loves you enough to make you over again. That you're not by yourself. You don't have to do this by yourself. You're not in this alone. You serve a God that want to develop relationship with you, to show you how to deal with the hurt, how to deal with the pain, how to deal with the broken heart. He want to show you how to do that. More than anything else, when you get in this kind of situation where you feel like you're drowning, the enemy will play a trick on you. He'll play all kind of mind tricks and mind games with you and make you think that you are by yourself. But you hear from me. I was the one that was putting on the mask, the youth director at the church, praise and worship leader at the church. All while behind closed doors, I was drowning. When I didn't want to think, I drank. When the racing thoughts came, I drank. And I was killing myself on the inside. But it wasn't until I said, God, I surrender all to you. Everything that's in me. I don't want to do it like this no more. And if you're tired and you seeing the results are not what they should be, and you feel like it's not just affecting you and it's affecting everybody else around you, you can just lift your hands and say, God, make me over again. God, take over. God, I totally surrender to you. He waiting on you. He's waiting on you. And right now I want to pray that, God, thank you for the Leahs in this world. Thank you for the princess in this world. Thank you for the mothers and the daughters and the husbands that are dealing with these issues behind closed doors that no one knows about. Thank you for healing their heart, God. Thank you for holding them, God. Thank you for molding them, God. Thank you for making them, God. Thank you for bringing them wholeness and showing them what they need to hear and what they need to see to become whole again, and allowing them to know that you are there with them, Now, that's the kind of conversation I want you to have with God. The genuine conversations that I had to have. The ones that I learned that David had with God. The ones that I have seen the type of relationship that he had. That God, that even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I fear no evil. It take a relationship to be able to say that. And I want you to have that kind of relationship, just like that one, the one that I have, the one that David has, where he is where you are not alone. And I want you to be able to have that conversation and know a God like that, because I'm telling you, my life changed. It changed for the better when I started having those kind of conversations. Now, right now, they're having a conversation right behind me with God. And I want you all, Crystal, I want you to lead us into the conversations with the Lord, the raw, genuine conversations with God. Are y'all ready? Let's go.
Make me
for joining us on the Cozy Couch, where we've had some great conversations. But guess what?
It ain't over.
Uh-oh, nope. We are going live next Friday at 6:30.
Meet us here.
You don't want to miss it. See you soon.